Okay, so now back. So we started going through the notes. Now the thing is that this is not the part where they have the ha'aros in the back. So this is the part where he really goes through the grammar or the different types of additions that he's going through to try to see where we got these words from. And to begin with, for one thing, it's very obvious that the first phrase, bekit fui de katvin, this is a phrase that we really don't know what it means, how it translates, or where it came from. So he says, so let's go, we're going to look at number Gimel, and maybe I can paraphrase some of it, but maybe not. Let's see how it goes. He says, bekitfu de kitvin besocha gugolas de erikanpin. So he says this is the gugolas now. Berucha the ruach hayotzach mechachoitim, and then talk with the ruach of the ruach that comes srivin the masculine. So the question is what is srivin the masculine all about? They're bound up with the balance scale. So what is this talking about? So he says the nusach, the nusach of the defus hukach, srira berucha the masculine. So instead of the way that we have it, sririn Berucha Sririn the masculine, he says, well, maybe that is. He says, what? A Berucha Sririn the masculine. That's what we have. And apparently the Grua has a lot to be said in this piece because they mention his name a bunch of times. So we'll see how it goes there. So he says, well, I'm screwing things up, I'm sorry. And the video is screwing them up. So let me see where we're at here. He says, the very beginning, for they came from Mantova and Cremona, who Sriva the masculine bilvad. They just had those two words. So Berucha Sriva the masculine bilvad. He says Begirsa or Yok, or he says who Berucha the masculine. So then he left out the Sririn. Barizach of Bederik Emes over there he writes Sham Shilev base Agirsos Yachad. So what he did, he stitched them both all together. Benosach of Nidfas Ku B'Defus Kushta. So there it comes back out of the Defus Kushta, which is what? Ve'elach Kushta Ve'elach Shenachtoch Girsas or Yakar. So those, he says, Mefarshim Khan beer called Echad the figure so all the Mefarshim really work according to the Girsa that they have. So if we're going to get back and we're going to see some of the Ha'aros, we're going to realize that they maybe have different Girsas they're working with. It says, I think that Mantoba and Cremona are in northern Italy. And so the communication could have been, slow. We'll see that Ayin Sham v'hidech b'mash b'defus kushta midas srira. So they put that word in there first. Kodem midas barucha tzarach ion. So you have to say, well, exactly why they do that. The zehu of the lo kaseder haderech emes. It's not like the way that derech emes says it should be. Sheyesh tahachtim midas barucha kodem midas srira vulai hu tos. The fuss. Maybe it's just the way that it was put out. It's just a printing error. So, okay, this is the kind of things that he discusses over here. So he wants to really get us into an idea what we're looking at. So we went to the Tzriva de Masculine, the Kesher Amaskala Shuhu Hadas. So he said, what is the Kesher the Maskala? It's Das. Now he writes the words Yud Kei Vav. So those three letters, Me'irin, Mivisatrin, Osius, Yaakov. Now, I'm still having trouble understanding why he says the word Misatrin. It's important. We know it means literally crowns. But why use it at all? Me'irim, Osius, Yaakov. So why does he say Misatrin? He adds it in. So I don't know why. So anyways, he said, so what does it get added into? It added into this crust, which now we're seeing the things about it, the Ravira, and also the nostrils. Of the Shisha Kitzvahs, the goof, in another place, into the Zvaka, the goof of Erikan ben Kamoshi, his boyer. This all can be talked about. I'm not sure I understood, so let's go down and look at it more closely. So he says, number Daat. So Abira Bifnim Kan Miyusad Beikar al Divi Rababira Grua Kan. Shemevar Sham Inyan Kagirsas Arizal, so they're explaining really how it goes according to the way Rizal says. Bekatvu de Katvin Baruchat Sariba de Maskal, and that's what we have written here. Because now Baha'aras Gadam. So like we said previously, Avachavashar Mefarshim, Bir Kan Lefia Girsal Sacheros. They all spend their time looking at other Girsas. Gubavur Ba'otzach Biurim, like we're going to see that when we get back there. Amnam Nusach Bifnim. Who the had direction is boy b'ha'aras l'chalon. So the real crew is according to what the Ray al pi the Rizal. Ba'iri kan ba'anafim, amispashtim, chabad, shebekeser. I'm not sure what this is talking about. He says, but from branches or things that are bringing out from the chabad shebekeser, amirim ba'osios Yaakov. Now what this means, I think. He's taking you really deeply into, we have letters. So we taking us deep into the pattern of how the light really starts coming out, and that it starts coming out through the Chabad, which is the Yaakov that he was talking about. Shebekeser, but it's the part of it which is in Keser. It's extremely, extremely non-physical. Hami'irim ba'osius Yaakov, and they wind up attaching themselves, I use that word, but he says shining into the osios of Yaakov. So then Yaakov actually is much more of an entity, but the origin of it is in this Chabad of the Keser of Arich. Rei Mashin is boyer b'zecha b'aros la'el, so we'll see what's coming out over that as we go on a little bit more. So let's see, there is more here. Oh, I'm sorry. So he says, so look over and let's see what the Gra had to say about this. So going to be those two areas between one and the other. Mishum Sha'ama Lomala that says this idea. Yud Eloah, Yud Tata. Hey Eloah. So we had, this is that word Yehi. We were just working upon that. So he wants to explain, where are these letters? Where are they coming from? The two Yuds and the Hey in the middle. So he said, this is where they come from. They come from, I'm thinking, Katfoy, for the way he's using it, it's like the skull of skulls. It's that, the panemius of the skull, of the very high place, who, Kruma Devira, and he says, what is the Katfoy, the Katvin? It's called the Kruma Devira. Okay, the Kruma, which is a crust of air. So we know that Kutfa is actually a skull, like it says over there. Daf Rapach comes out to be that Daf Reish Peches, etc., etc. Gulta, Kulta, the Katfu is Pashet, Mechai Kultra. Now he's calling it a Kultra, the Kitrui, the Katfui, the He Gulta. Now I'm not sure what the Kultra is. It sounds like something from the Idris, but I don't really remember it. Kultra de Katfui could be that it means Kataras, like smoke, Kitor, probably. So, Arma Barucha who Ruach de Bardashka, and then he says, so he's just going through it. He goes, Barucha de Bardashka, he says Kamosha Amar, so then it's a Ruach that comes out as if it was possible to say of this nose of Eric Anpin. Let me see, I think I lost the place a little bit. Eric Anpin, Kamosha, Sifra de Tzniuta, like we have it here, Lamata, I think we're running out of time. Let's see. Okay, hey, Lord, is Anta Berucha de Nukfecha de Badashka. I have to stop here, Rabbi, because I'm going to lose, I can't get back into it in 30 seconds. So we'll come back and we'll do this little thing tomorrow. Thank you so much for giving me your time. Thank you. Call to it.